I think all our society is run by insane people for insane objectives. And I think that's what I sussed when I was 16 and 12 way down the line, but I expressed it differently all through my life. It's the same thing I'm expressing all the time, but now I can put it into that sentence that I think we're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends, If anybody can put on paper what our government and the American government, etc., and the Russian, Chinese, what they are actually trying to do, and what they think they're doing, I'd be very pleased to know what they think they're doing. I think they're all insane, but I'm liable to be put away as insane for expressing that. That's what's insane about it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is Crime Scene Time Machine. I'm your host, Scott Roeder, and I love you, people of planet Earth. Today, we'll be putting to rest the mystery behind the drone situation in New Jersey and throughout the United States, and perhaps throughout the world. But before we get to that, I would like to say a few words about how the government, different agencies are speaking about the subject. For example, the spokesman for the Commander-in-Chief, a spokesman for the Pentagon, spokesman for the Department of the Defense, for the FBI, Congress, and local politicians and law enforcement. The Pentagon is telling you something very ironic and antithetical to logic and common sense. They are saying that these drones are not United States military, they are not foreign adversaries, and they are not drone enthusiasts. The White House spokesmen are saying that they're aware of it, monitoring it, and that it does not appear to pose a threat, and that they're unaware of the owner-operators of the drone. They're saying it's not us, and it's not foreign adversaries. But they're keeping an eye on it, and you're in no danger. The Department of Defense says that they're not U.S. military, and they're not foreign adversaries. How do they know that? They're also saying that they're unmanned. How do they know that? And they're claiming that it poses no threat at this time. How do they know that? If you're saying it's not ours, and it's not the bad guys, and it's not like some enthusiast, what does that leave left? But don't worry, they're unmanned, and they don't seem to pose a threat. The FBI, they think they just need more money to investigate this, because they only have a $12 billion a year budget, and they just, they need more money to study this. But I don't even see how this is the domain of the FBI. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense why they're even, in this investigation to begin with. Now, there are some governmental agencies that I think their silence speaks loudly, and that's the lack of comment by the United States Navy and the United States Air Force, the United States Coast Guard, and NASA. We have not heard one peep out of any of those people that lead those agencies. This is clearly the domain of the Department of Defense, and to have the FBI take the lead is ridiculous. This is a military-style situation. The FBI, they're a crime-fighting agency, right? They're not a paranormal investigation agency. They're not a drone agency. This seems like this is a job for the United States Navy, right? But we've been very quiet from those. Now, clearly, just to restate, this is the domain of the Department of the Defense, right? But they've got the FBI running the lead. Doesn't make any sense to me. I find this very inexplicable. This is clearly something that the Navy should be looking at. The Air Force. Why is there not a United States Navy destroyer parked off the shore of New Jersey shooting these things out of the sky? Why? Why is the Air Force Top Guns not flying through the sky and gunning them down, taking them out, doing their thing? right? Why? Bring one to the ground. Why aren't they doing that? Well, I have the answer for you. And I'm going to tell you why right now. And that's because this is a deep state special access program of advanced drone technology, clearly made by some department of the United States military, probably the CIA, combined with naval intelligence and in collaboration with Lockheed Martin and Skunk Works and Boeing and all those guys, to test the reaction of the American citizens and to obfuscate the UFO phenomenon by intermingling it with drone technology. So that you get used to saying the word drone and UFO, interchangeably, right? Or UAP and drone. They've got all these new terms. But they're saying it's unmanned. How do they know it's unmanned unless it's theirs? And technically, the CIA and NASA and Boeing and Skunk Works and those guys aren't part of the military. So when they say it's not U.S. military, that's kind of like them saying they're not extraterrestrial, right? Because we don't know that they're from outer space, like real UFOs. So they're saying it's not U.S. military, but it could be U.S. intelligence and private industry running the PSYOP, couldn't it? Couldn't it? I think so. And it's very upsetting to me that our own military or intelligence agencies and our leaders are willing to lie right to our face. And they think they're going to get away with it. I'm going to tell you they will not get away with it. This needs to be investigated by Congress and the Senate, and the military needs to investigate this. And there needs to be a trial. These things need to be shot down. We need to see made in, California on the bottom of the freaking stamp code, on the bottom of this drone, and string these guys up by their Buster Browns. Hey, listen, they're disrupting the lives of the citizens in New Jersey and throughout the United States. They are disrupting the flight paths of medical flights from hospitals that are trying to go on the highway and pick up somebody dying from injuries in a car crash to life flight them to the hospital, but they can't because these drones are in the way. It's causing paranoia and panic amongst the citizens in this area who are even paying attention to the situation. We have some senators which are saying that there's a Iranian mothership off the coast of New Jersey that left a month ago carrying drones, and that's who it is. Come on. That's 100% bull pucky. And the reason I know this is because the United States is so proud of having full spectrum dominance when it comes to what's going on in our skies. And they spend about $2 trillion, $1 trillion on the books and $1 trillion off the books every year since 2001. And let me do the math real quick. That's $48 trillion of taxpayer money since 2001 that is supposed to go to protect the American citizen of some sort of a terrorist attack, or whether it be terrestrial or non-terrestrial or phenomenal or whatever. But apparently they're using it to psyop us. But of course our government wouldn't lie to us. That's ridiculous to even consider, right? Okay guys, let's play chess and not checkers for a second. If I'm right, and this is us trying to scare us, but they gaslight us and say there's nothing to be scared of. And then something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt. A plane's going to collide with one of these things and crash. Somebody's going to get killed on the ground. And then the government's going to be like, we need money to go to war with the aliens. It's always about needing more money. Needing to call in the continuity of government. the COG, right? Those are the people that have been digging deep underground military bases since 1945 under our feet, right? So I think it's a long game that they're playing. They're gaslighting us with their technology now and saying we don't know anything about it, and they're going to wait for somebody to get hurt so that people start walking down the street with pitchforks, shovels, and torches, begging us, pleading with the government to go to war with ET because now we need you. And they're going to begrudgingly say, well, you asked for it. Is that how America works? That's not how America works. They need the citizens of the United States, right, to approve any military involvement. That's not really how we do things anymore. Since 2001, we gave up our rights, right, to be frisked at the airport and travel freely and walk around without having things jabbed into us and so forth. But that's not our rights anymore. We've given those rights up to the president for executive power, unilaterally, just to go to war. We don't need to have a vote of declaration of war with Congress anymore, right? Even if we're not the ones fighting the war, we're still giving money to all of these other places to continue to fight war. That's wrong. That's wrong. Now, recently, here's the problem. This is how they work. Problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem to make you react, and then they provide you the solution to the very problem that they created. That's how the secret control group or the deep state, that's how they work. Right? That's how they work. Problem, reaction, solution. That's the model that the secret control group uses when they want to typically put forward an agenda. And, listen, don't worry about building a high-speed rail like Japan has. Like we can have a high-speed rail going from New York to LA, Chicago, Miami, Houston, Cleveland, whatever. But we don't. Our airports are like third world shithole nations. Excuse my language. They are. I recently flew into the DC airport. It's terrible. The Tokyo airport is like going into the future 100 years. The Sydney airport in Australia is like going into the future. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Right? Don't worry about the life expectancy of the American citizen going down every year by a year or so. Right? Because we're getting sick and more sick every year because our healthcare doesn't work. Right? They just treat the symptoms. They don't treat the cause of the sickness, which is the food that we eat, right? So I was just in Japan, right? Everybody smokes and drinks and lives in their 90s. Why? Because they don't eat poison for breakfast cereal. They don't have poison snacks like Cheetos and Doritos, right? They don't eat McDonald's. They do eat KFC, but they have a different recipe over there. I did try the KFC in Tokyo. It definitely was a real bird and not our fattened up genetic birds. But that's what they spend their money on over in Japan and Australia. Infrastructure, healthcare, clean food, nice airports, safe, cheap mass transit. But 25% of every penny you pay to the government goes to war. Another 25% of your paycheck goes to healthcare, just so that you have to pay another 40% and then a deductible, and then you get capped at like a yearly spend. And you wonder why healthcare CEOs are getting gunned down in the street, because they are essentially the mafia, right? All the insurance companies, they're just a bunch of shit. They take your money and then, and I know this for a fact, okay? So I worked on a case in Florida. I was on the plaintiff side of a case. We represented a guy, can't remember his name right now, but this was probably maybe 2005, 2006, somewhere around that range. And there was a lawsuit against Infinity Insurance Company, which I'm not sure if they're even around anymore, but they were a car insurance company that catered to high risk, low income drivers. Predators, basically. You can think of them as the insurance company version of paycheck loan. Where you pay like a 30% fee to cash your check. There was a time in my life where I used to do that. When I was young, married, little kids, working paycheck to paycheck, trying to get money to pay the rent and so forth. They're predators. But don't worry about fixing that. Spend more money on war. Don't worry about that stuff. Don't worry about fixing those problems. Just get ready for the Super Bowl. Get ready for the NBA championship. Don't worry about these drones. They're not going to hurt you until they do. Until they do. Let's see. All right, let's get back to the issue at hand, which is the drones, which I believe is a setup to the long game of promoting the UFO alien invader threat, or as Whitley Strieber likes to call them, visitors. And it is a very real thing. Just look at the work that I did in collaboration with the Las Vegas alien encounter, May 1st, 2023. Undeniable proof, absolute proof of an alien, and we're using the term loosely, non-human intelligence interacting amongst us, walking in our midst. In that situation, my theory is accidentally. And proven beyond a doubt. But that's not getting any coverage. Although I think it's going to start getting some coverage very soon. Now, I do know for a fact that aliens are out there, right? Or whatever they are, they're out there. But I don't feel like they're a threat to us militarily. I feel like they need to be studied intellectually and spiritually, like any intelligent being speaking to somebody that's at a disadvantage in technology and contextual analysis. I think these beings lie to us, kind of like how we lie to the animals at the zoo, where they tell us they have our best interests at heart, but are they just gawking at us and poking at us? I think they're jealous of us because they don't got any parts. That's why they're always stealing everybody's sperm and so forth to, so that they can try to be alive again. Because I don't know if they're entirely alive. And I think that's what a parallel dimensional reality might be. Is like, it's where you go when you die. Kind of into those liminal spaces. And you have some awareness of what you are and what you can and can't do. And if you look at any being, why would they come down to Earth and deal with humans? Because we're very much alive. And they're jealous of that. And I think maybe they're trying to steal some of it. I don't know. But that's just conjecture for the time being. We will see one day for real when they make themselves known. Because we need them to make themselves known in the light of day. Because they're always sneaking around in the middle of the night, hiding in the shadows, covert-like, spying on us while we're sleeping in our bed. These fuckers are, obviously weaklings, and they need the cover of darkness to kind of put some mind spell on us and control us. That's why we don't see them during the day, because for some reason, when they're out during the day, they don't have their powers, or possibly we're too powerful when we're awake and fully conscious for their trickery to work on us. These are just my current hypotheses on the state of the UFO non-human intelligence affairs. Now, I do ask you to go to my Twitter page and give me a follow at Scott Roeder, CSTM, Scott Roeder, CSTM. You can find me on YouTube, Scott Roeder at Crime Scene. You can find me on Spotify, Crime Scene Time Machine Podcast. Give me a follow, give me a like, give me a listen, give me a review. If you like it, it's all free, baby. And I don't even run advertisements yet. Also, send me an email, scottroeder@gmail.com. Let me know your thoughts if you like the show. If you've got any videos of UFO phenomenon, if you got any videos of being abducted or aliens or something good, and you want me to verify the footage is real and tell your story to the world, send it to me. Okay, folks, We've reached the end of the show. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Remember, you guys, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Mend those fences with people that, we've got broken fences with. Love somebody. Matter of fact, love everybody. And treat everybody like they have no history, right? Give everyone the opportunity and a chance to be their best version of themselves for you. And I say that with all love in my heart. Until next time, bye.
I think all our society is run by insane people for insane objectives. And I think that's what I sussed when I was 16 and 12 way down the line. But I expressed it differently all through my life. It's the same thing I'm expressing all the time, but now I can put it into that sentence that I think we're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends, If anybody can put on paper what our government and the American government, etc., and the Russian, Chinese, what they are actually trying to do, and what they think they're doing, I'd be very pleased to know what they think they're doing. I think they're all insane. But I'm liable to be put away as insane for expressing that. That's what's insane about it.